Do y'all remember how back in high school there was always some girl, in my case it was me, I was that girl. There was always that girl who would be like, oh my god, I hate drama so much. I hate drama. All my friends are guys because girls are just too much drama. But in reality, one of three things was always true. She either just wanted to hang out with all the guys because she was thirsty, or she was actually a closeted queer girl who didn't hang out with other girls and pretended she wasn't like them because she was actually attracted to them and didn't want to say it yet. Or, in the third case, she was the one starting all the drama. In my case, it was all three. What was it in your case? Let me know in the comments below. However, I have noticed this happening time and time again in internet communities as well. There's always one person, male, female, non-binary, whatever, there is always one person in every internet community who is like, oh my god, you guys are so much drama. I can't take it anymore because you are just so much drama. Can we just get back to the good content, please? You're so much drama. But in reality, they were the one that started everything. Always, 100% of the time. I have said it's happened in every community I've been in. It happens in the booktube community every 10 seconds. It's happened in the anti-MLM community with Kimberlea, and now it's happening in the anti-MLM community again with another woman whose name I'm not going to say because my guess is she's targeting specifically people like me and Savannah Marie and Suarez because we're people who respond. And I think that she's trying to gain more publicity for herself, so I'm not even going to say what her name is. If she ends up getting publicity later down the line, I'll say it, but until then, we're not sharing publicity. So if you guys missed High School Bitch Savvy and you wanted me to be dramatic again, today is the video for you, because on Friday, we're returning to book reviews.
Hit you some nuts.
There was lots of memes.
Makes me wonder if I should take up lesbianism.
Chicago. You guys asked for it.
What's up, my fellow small business supporters? I'm Savvy. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome for the first time. This is Savvy Writes Books, the channel where we talk about books and business, and that includes book reviews, discussions of the business of book publishing, discussions of business gurus who try to take advantage of creative people, as well as small business ownership and the movement against multi-level marketing companies. On this channel, we are all about supporting small businesses, supporting women in business, and all of that kind of good stuff. So if you're new here, go ahead and click the subscribe button, ring the little notification bell. I have new videos coming out every Friday at 11 a.m. Central, and often videos on Mondays and Wednesdays whenever I have the time or ability to create a second video for the week. But if you want to see me every day, you can subscribe to Your Morning Guru, my second channel, where my friend and I host a live morning show talking about a lot of the same topics, but live with you guys in the chat, so I hope you enjoy. So this past weekend, I was getting harassed by this creator who is not particularly, she says she's not particularly pro MLM, but I believe she is involved in an MLM company. I'm not going to give away any details on her because I don't want to give her any publicity. I looked and saw that she does have a channel. It's pretty new, it looks like, so I'm not going to help her grow her channel if this is the behavior she's going to try to use for that. But this woman has started emailing a bunch of anti-MLM YouTubers and coming up with all kinds of arguments against us. And because while today's video is, I guess, somewhat drama, one thing you guys know about me is that while I do talk about drama sometimes, I don't like to have drama without education. I think there needs to be something we can learn. So in this video, my focus is going to be on summarizing the situation that's going on, but I also want this video to be a way for us to learn about identifying logical fallacies. We do this when we review Ben Shapiro's books, we do this when we review books of business gurus or conservative pundits or whatever. I think sometimes it's important to be able to see, okay, what can we actually learn from this? And in a lot of cases, it's going to be identifying logical fallacies. So what I'm about to read you is a 12 email chain from a creator who told me that she didn't want to talk to me. So here's a tip for everyone. If you don't want to talk to someone, don't send them 12 emails, but okay. So she sent me an email with the subject heading anti-MLM inquiries, which made me think, okay, well, this person maybe wants to talk about something anti-MLM related or has an inquiry. And that's kind of how the email starts out. She says, "Hey Savvy, I've come across your channel a few times, but alas, I'm here to email you now. As you may or may not know, I'm working extremely hard on a series exposing the anti-MLM movement." Uh-oh, I'm gonna get exposed. What did I do? I'm usually pretty honest. I've admitted multiple times that when I was 19, I was a libertarian frat boy. It doesn't get much cringier than that, but like, what else could you possibly expose me for? Ooh. I have thoroughly researched this topic. In addition, I also study business and entrepreneurship. Nice, cool, another woman in business, love to see it. And I see that you are also a business owner, so I feel as you may understand business and would be willing to expand on this topic. Cool, she wants me to expand on this topic. Okay. My first problem with your content is that I have found you have read Robert Fitzpatrick Ponzinomics and even did a review. Do you know that he has been exposed for being a fraud? He doesn't know what he's talking about. I've done my research on him. It's interesting, though, since Suarez was supposed to do an interview and didn't do it after I told Savannah Marie he was a con artist. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about here. Like, believe it or not, while I am friends with other creators, I don't know every single interaction that they have with each other. So I'm not going to even address what that... I don't know what she meant by that. Okay. I would like to think a creator like you and Chelsea would do your research, but none of you did, and that's exactly what I'm going to use against you. You lost all credibility when you made a video about him and found nothing wrong with his self-published book published in 2020. I mean, thank you for telling us what year the book was published and by whom. I don't know how that's relevant to anything. If she's trying to dunk on self-publishing, she's come to the wrong creator for that, because, like, 3/4 of my channel is about the merits of self-publishing and how to do it and how to be a business owner in the book world, so... I mean, considering the business that I started, Forever Home Friends, is a business where my own company publishes books. She's off her rocker. She thinks I'm gonna see anything wrong with self-publishing, but you do you. And she says, once you see that interview, you'll know you royally fucked up. You can delete your review, but I have the screenshot, and I also have Chelsea talking about it after I called her out about not knowing shit. She wanted to point out all her books, because, you know, she reads. What? What does that mean? I read too. I have a lot of books. I'm Savvy Writes Books. Obviously I read if I write. And I guess Chelsea also reads books. Like, good for her. I assume a lot of people read. Like, what are you talking about? Second of all, I have no plans to delete my review on Robert Fitzpatrick's book Ponzinomics because I found a lot of it to be true. So, okay. What are you talking about? The math checked out in the book. Like, the book was true. Okay. Also, creators, you started at the same time, during COVID, and didn't receive sufficient views on their content before talking about MLMs. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up in the next email, but my channel, I made the account for this channel in 2017. I actually started posting regularly in late 2018. November 28th, 2018 is what I consider my YouTube anniversary. It's when I made my first video of committing to the content of this channel. It was called BookTube Newbie Tag. And did it get that many views? No, not really. It got maybe a couple hundred. I don't remember, honestly. I'll pop it up so we can see in retrospect. I'll talk about my channel and my intentions for starting this channel in a minute, but no, I didn't start during COVID, and especially since she brought up Savannah, I was watching Savannah for a long time before I started my YouTube channel, which was years before COVID, so meaning Savannah also started years before COVID, and her channel was exclusively anti-MLM and has been for a long time. So no, it's not about getting views during COVID. What is she talking about? That's just false. So then she says, I lied. I mean, that's the first accurate statement she said in this whole email. I don't want to talk to any of you because I know what you all lack. I just send this to creators so they know what's coming. And just know it's nothing less than fully researched and high quality, so none of your fans can say otherwise or try to change the narrative. I mean, if she puts this out, I'll do a reaction to it, because based on what she said so far, a lot of this information is going to be wrong, and I can prove that. You are all guilty of making this mob. You are all complicit. When someone ends their life over Savannah's dumbass thumbnails, you will have no one else to blame. What the fuck is she talking about? Savannah's thumbnails look fine, okay. You all live in an echo chamber, I'm sure. That's really funny to say to me, considering I've literally debated red pillars. I had Scott, who is one of the people who harasses anti-MLM creators. I've had him on my channel for a debate, and I also hosted a debate with the two most prominent red pillars. As a feminist myself, I debated red pillars on the Your Morning Guru channel. And so, yeah, I live in such an echo chamber that I'm literally willing to have conversations with people on the complete opposite ends of spectrums as me. I live in such an echo chamber, right? I think she probably knew that would hurt me, because being in favor of breaking down echo chambers is like one of the main reasons I want to be on YouTube. It's one of the main driving forces behind the Your Morning Guru show and all that. So we had a whole debate week on that show where I invited creators who were pro-lifers. I have never once allowed myself to be in an echo chamber. And there have been times where, like, I've accidentally come into one, and then once I realize it, I start seeking out as many alternate opinions as possible, because I never want to not know where someone else's viewpoint comes from, because then we'll never be able to discuss it, and I never may be able to change their mind or anything. So that's just insane to me. So she continues, I come in and out of this drama because it's so toxic. I don't know how you can make this your whole life. Sociopaths. Okay, so first of all, sociopathy is an actual, like, medically recognized mental health disorder. And so if you're not a therapist or a psychiatrist, I don't think that you have the right to be diagnosing anyone as a sociopath. Second of all, It's kind of weird that she claims I make anti-MLM drama my whole life, because in my entire time on YouTube, I have made, including this one, 2 videos and 1 live stream about anti-MLM drama. Less than half the videos on my channel are even anti-MLM content. The majority of it is book reviews, and some of it is book reviews that cross over into anti-MLM stuff. We have some things that are in multiple genres. You can take a look under my playlist tab and see how many videos I have in each category. So no, I don't even make anti-MLM content my whole life, let alone anti-MLM drama. Especially considering while I spend a lot of time making these YouTube videos, I also have a lot of time to spend running my own business and actually writing my own books and things like that, so I have no idea what the fuck she's talking about. She says, sneaking into meetings, not one creator comes out with just educational content. I mean, we do come out with educational content, though, it's just also funny. You can make something that's funny and educational at the same time. That's a false dichotomy. That's our first logical fallacy. False dichotomy. She's over here being like, your content isn't just educational, and acting as if therefore that means it's not educational at all. No, our content is just funny and educational at the same time. Don't see a problem with that. We can also point out everyone that's DM'd me and told me that I inspired them to get out of an MLM company and dodge a bullet. I mean, I think that would make my content somewhat educational. I'll point to my favorite example of someone that I did this with, which is my now friend Lori, who now comes to my writing live streams and is writing a book based on her experiences, but I interviewed her twice actually. Once on this channel in a video called She Was in 27 MLMs and Left After 40 Years, and the second being an interview we did on Your Morning Guru with her about her leaving the Mormon church. Lori's a fascinating woman. She grew up in the Mormon church. She has a lot of trauma from the specific community that she was in. And by the way, this isn't me saying that everyone who's Mormon is bad or anything. Absolutely not. I respect all religious beliefs as long as you don't impose them on others. But her specific experience in the Mormon church involved a lot of toxic positivity, a lot of manifestation style thinking, which led to her being blamed when she experienced SA, and also led to her being roped into MLM company after MLM company. And this was from 1982 to 2021. Actually, the day that she left doTERRA, which was her final MLM, she came to my writing stream to tell me that night and said, Savvy, I've been watching your videos for a little while. I decided I was in 27 MLMs and I finally officially left the last one today. And then I did an interview with her about it and learned about her experience. I highly recommend that video. I'll link it up in the cards. But my point is that while the content isn't pure education, I try to rope in entertainment into it because making videos is fun. It does actually leave people with a lasting impression. So I don't know what she's on about here. She says, in the name of content, you are the worst people I've come across, hiding behind disclaimers and fake accounts. I've never had a fake account, I don't think. I mean, I have 2 accounts. I have this one and Your Morning Guru, and I have a Forever Home Friends account that I don't post on anymore. I'm trying to think back back during my days as a teenage troll if I ever made one, just in case she, finds something. But no, I don't think so. I wasn't, that bad of a troll as a teenager. I mostly made, fake Yahoo Answers accounts to, just post Fresh Prince lyrics to everyone's, questions. Okay, anyway. It's mean girls in real life, hiding under the guise of helping people. Save that for someone who believes you. We'll go into the mean girls thing in a second because she's gonna later accuse me of being misogynistic, and the call's coming from inside the house. So I responded to her and said, okay, I'll check out your Fitzpatrick interview. I hadn't seen it before. If you have evidence of him being a fraud, please provide it.
Why do you follow me? Unfollow me. 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 Most people won't work this hard. Most people won't get up at 4 a.m. Most people won't work this hard. Most people won't get up at 4 a.m. Why do you follow me? Why do you follow me? Why do you?
I haven't seen any such information, but I'm always open to looking into all information. I'm concerned that you said you've done your research, yet you got so much wrong. One obvious one, you claim we started during COVID. I began posting anti-MLM content to my channel in the spring and summer of 2019. I've been watching Savannah's channel for years before that. You may want to get simple things like when our channel started correct. I'm open to hearing all sides of every issue, always, but this email really seems like you just want to threaten and intimidate people, not to inform them. Again, I'll gladly read your info about Fitzpatrick, send it to me. I'm not above criticizing those I agree with otherwise, if it's valid. Have a good evening. Yeah, just to be clear, I posted anti-MLM content to my channel for the first time in, I want to say, spring of 2019. I did a video called MLM Companies Do Not Belong at Craft Fairs. It was right after I cut my hair. My hair was short instead of long. When my channel started, I had really long hair, and then I cut it off, and I did that video pretty shortly after, and that was spring of 2019. So again, long before there were any COVID lockdowns, or even before most people knew even what COVID-19 specifically was. And the reason that I made that video was that, 2 reasons actually. So number one, when I first considered starting a YouTube channel, which was back in 2017 before I committed to anything like permanently, I was thinking about trying to do a series on pyramid schemes at some point. I was really getting disillusioned with pyramid schemes at that point because, as I did a video on my channel about, I once was roped into going to a Smart Circle interview, and I suddenly became fascinated in the ways that these businesses scam people. And so I wanted to do something on my channel. My idea was something called Hidden Pyramid Schemes, where I'd go into Smart Circle interviews dressed up in disguise and ask a bunch of questions and secretly record it. Then I found out that while Illinois is technically a one-party consent recording state, it is a two-party consent recording state in certain situations, and I think job interviews are one of those situations. So I could potentially get in legal trouble for that. So I decided, you know, maybe if my channel starts making money at some point, I can raise up some money and travel by train, by Metro or something to go to Wisconsin, to go to Indiana, because both of those are permanently one-party consent recording states. So I was like, okay, maybe I can go there and make this type of series instead. And then by the time my channel started making money, then COVID hit, and so, you know, I didn't start traveling, which again would imply that my channel started making money before COVID. So no, I did not start this during COVID to get views, and I'm about to explain that to her in a minute. But yeah, so that was one of the reasons. I have family and friends that got roped into pyramid schemes during their lowest times, when they were struggling the most with money and things like that, and I hated seeing what it did. And then when I finally went ahead and made that video, it was because I was almost 2 years, about a year and 3/4 into running my company, Forever Home Friends, at that point, and my biggest source of income for that was doing craft fairs. And I've talked about this before. My biggest source of income was doing craft fairs and festivals and things like that. And so when I would go to a lot of these conventions or festivals or craft fairs, I would see MLM companies taking up spaces from people. And it would bother me because it wasn't in service of the end customer, right? We talk about how MLMs, the distributors, are the real customers. There is no service thinking of the end customer as the actual goal. And because of that, customers would get driven away from these craft fairs and things like that. There would be fewer people in attendance each year because they didn't want to be pitched at by a Mary Kay lady. They wanted to see local art. They wanted to see small business owners and things like that. And even once I went to a juried art show, which a juried art show usually has a higher table fee, but the implication is that someone's art has to be accepted to get in. So you're going to have people who are there to see original artists and things like that. And when I went to this show, I ended up seeing 4 MLM companies there, and I was like, this is a juried art show. This is a lie. This is a scam. I am upset about this because I spent so much time on my display for that event and everything. Basically, I had a ton of reasons why I started making anti-MLM content at that point. I had also been inspired by a lot of creators I was previously watching who, once again, started well before COVID. Those people include Savannah, as I mentioned, also Monica Hayworth, who's now one of my best friends, I moja siostra, kocham ciebie, and I watched Recovering Hunbot, who did great breakdowns of why these companies scam people so much. She was one of my favorites to watch. And then around the time I started noticing other people posting this as well. The reason being, the anti-MLM movement really started to gain traction and take off online around like 2015, 2016, and then it only grew more and more as more people became educated about these companies. So that's when I started. That's why I started. You can choose not to believe me if you don't want to, but I can't control that. And she replied, "Good morning, Savvy. I can admit I did go off on some people, and I shouldn't do that because it muddies my objective and what I'm trying to accomplish by doing this." I agree with that, and I thought that was nice of her to kind of admit, you know what, I maybe came off too strong, I have a point I want to make. I was open to listening. However, in this very email, she's going to get back into that attitude. She always starts off nice and then goes into her rude attitude. I don't know what's going on with that. She says, "I see what the anti-MLM is trying to do, but it has evolved into a drama fest and normalized bullying. Let me say right here, right now, I do not support bullying in any way, shape, or form. I think it is important that we stick to the discussion of the content that's actually going on. So here's another logical fallacy for you guys. It's called the ad hominem attack. An ad hominem happens when you criticize somebody in place of criticizing their argument. So for example, someone left me a comment on my video about Jen Sincero today, and she told me that my review was wrong because my makeup looked like shit. To be fair, my makeup usually does look like shit. I didn't start wearing makeup until I was 28, and it's because I wanted to do more fun looks for videos. And so I'm still learning how to do makeup. I think it looks pretty good today, but like maybe I don't remember what it looked like in that video. I'm sure it looked like shit. And it's like, okay, yes, I can agree with you. My makeup looks like shit. What does that have to do with the content of my review, though? How is something I said in this review wrong because of that? Because I could look like an absolute, like, Halloween monster and still say things that are true. Those things are unrelated, and therefore that is a logical fallacy to assume that because I looked like shit that my work must not be true. That's all to say, among bullying being a mean and awful thing to do to other people, it doesn't support the argument. So I find that often bullying someone who disagrees with you inherently supports the ad hominem attack and weakens your own argument. So no, I will never support bullying, not just for the sake that it's mean, but also for the sake that a lot of the times it's also a logical fallacy. So no, I don't support bullying. If you can point to an instance of me bullying someone, please let me know. If I look at it and I'm like, you know what, maybe I was too mean there, I'll apologize. I've apologized multiple times on this channel because we're all humans who make mistakes, and like, it's okay to admit when you're wrong. She says, a lot of people are trying to dismiss my research, and that's fine. I didn't mean that all channels started during COVID. Then why'd you say that? But the train definitely did. But I'll look at dates. I pay very close attention to sourcing. But I've just found a common theme among you all. You didn't have views before talking about MLMs, and it's easy to see across all of your pages. Then when you guys switch to only talking about that, I know business. I know you guys use that topic to funnel people into all your side businesses. It's clear to see, and that's the main focus. You all do it, but I have a problem when it's hurting people to the point where anyone in an MLM can be harassed. When have I harassed anyone in an MLM? I make sure I block out names and faces. The only thing that I can think of maybe she's talking about is the other week Savannah and I posted a video together where we went into a SAVY MLM call. It was funny because my name's Savvy and her name's Savannah and the company's name's SAVY, so it was like Sav, and Savvy. It was like Ed, and Eddie. Like, it was funny, right? So that was an example of one where we were trying to be educational and humorous at the same time. And in that video, she blurred everyone's face on her part of the collab, and on my part of the collab, I stuck a little, like, Canva stock image over everyone's face. So we did not show the face of a single MLM rep. We did not say any of their names other than to say that one of them was named Anna, and it was funny because when people would say, "Hi, Anna," the text kerning was bad and it made it look like they were saying "Hi, anal," and it was funny. But Anna is an incredibly common name, and when she said her last name, I cut it out. So I don't know how it's harassing people to not even reveal who they are, okay? She says, as far as Savannah's story, I swear it's not dismissive, but it sounds like she didn't know what she was doing, and that's fine, but you guys only talk about the same MLMs and assume they're all the same. You guys have a disclaimer, but make statements saying stuff is fact that I see all over the internet repeated. What I have to say is there are many people like Savannah that think there is money to be made in an MLM, but as a business person, why would you think you'd make money selling beauty products? Doesn't take a genius. My first interview was an MLM for Cutco at 16, and even I knew back then I couldn't sell knives. Okay, I'm glad you didn't join Cutco. What? Not only that, I've seen the latest drama, and I saw Savannah threaten someone with her lawyer when I know what she does. You all pissed me off, and you're all complicit, whether you like to think so or not. You will be each other's downfall. I'm not a believer in guilt by association. I think it's very stupid to think that because you're on the same side of an issue as someone that you support all of their beliefs, and I'm about to bring that up in my response. I'll give an example of what I mean in a second. Second of all, I don't know what Savannah's doing with her lawyer, whatever. I have no idea. I'm not her. I can assume that if she threatened someone with her lawyer, it's because there was something serious going on. I don't know. I don't have a lawyer. She says, my whole thing is, yes, those MLMs with items that have low profit margin would be hard to make sales, but then why aren't you talking about MLMs with high profit margins? They do exist. I saw the anti-MLM trending on TikTok for months, but it never really grabbed my attention until I started looking into it. Yes, I have everything I need to really show that most of your group are bullies. Isabella Lantern knows what I have on her, so you'll all be grouped in with her. And Savannah, well, she's a walking contradiction, so you'll be grouped into her. I went against the anti-MLM subreddit, and no one knows what they are talking about there, so I feel confident. Always Marco, which all of you guys really love to mention, said he quit because of the bullying and he wasn't truly passionate about it. It all just compiles into a great video and all the facts about self-promotion and biased sourcing. I actually haven't watched Marco's video about why he stopped making anti-MLM content yet. I'm going to, but that's just to say that, like, if someone stops making anti-MLM content, like, that's totally fine. Everyone's allowed to make whatever content they want. I've talked to Marco before on this channel specifically because he was being threatened with a lawsuit at one point, and this was around the same time that Roberta Blevins had her TikTok suspended, and it just seemed like there was a lot of backlash going on, so I wanted to get some people's perspectives on that. So I had him on my channel for that, and he's become a friend over the years, but I don't have anything against him for not making anti-MLM content anymore. In fact, the majority of my content has always been more book related than MLM related, so it would be incredibly hypocritical of me to criticize someone for wanting to make different content. But anyway, we're gonna get into that with my response to her. I see the problem with some of the companies you mentioned, but it's more about regulation, caps on levels and territories, but again, not each MLM has the same structure. Have you seen how many MLM structures there are? There are way more than just one, and not all have levels, not everything is black and white. If the company doesn't have levels, wouldn't that just be affiliate marketing then? Because it being an MLM means it is multi-level marketing. That's what an MLM is by definition. So if you're talking about affiliate marketing, which has one level, yeah, I've stated already, I don't have a problem with that. Then she sent me a bunch more emails about Robert Fitzpatrick, but we'll get into that later. So I said, I appreciate your reply. I can see what you're saying in some areas, but I also disagree in others. Here's what I have to say. So this is the most important one, first of all. I'm not going to comment on other creators here, just on myself. I cannot read others' minds. I can, however, speak to my own experiences and motivations. I tend to trust people when they tell me their motivations. I trust that you are not doing this just to attack a community, but rather because you have valid concerns. The same way I trust that Savannah is making content because she genuinely believes in warning people. People can have conflicting viewpoints with both sides having honest intentions. I stand by that. And I'm not going to talk about other creators and the rest of this because she can say what she wants about their intentions. I can't read anyone's mind. I can speak to my own intentions honestly, and that's all I can do. So I said, I have gone out of my way not to bully MLM reps. I've said in multiple videos that I am against the structures, not the representatives themselves. I also cover faces and don't share names. I believe it's okay to inject some humor into videos without revealing people's identities or personal information. Ad hominem and straw man attacks are the death of true argumentation. Stand by that. I don't believe in complicity in the sense that you're using it. If one creator does something you don't like, that doesn't mean that every creator on that side of the issue feels the same. Here's my example. I voted for Joe Biden for president because I hate Trump. Kamala Harris, his vice president, is married to a lawyer who defended Herbalife. Does that make me complicit in Herbalife? No, that's insane. Less than half of the videos on my channel are about MLM, so I don't really get why you keep bringing up that I do this for views. The majority of my videos are about writing, book reviews, and business overall, and yes, critiquing MLMs fits in with a channel about small businesses. I didn't get a lot of views before making anti-MLM videos, but guess what? I didn't get a lot of views when I started making anti-MLM videos either. I was new to YouTube and learning how the system worked still. That previous point goes along with this as well. Here we go, logical fallacy time. You continue to engage in the logical fallacy of equating correlation with causation. Did the anti-MLM movement on YouTube increase in views during COVID? Yes. But that doesn't mean that people were jumping on a train. That is a fallacy to assume that. There are many reasons it may have happened. I personally think it happened for a combination of reasons. One, when COVID started, more people were working from home, meaning people watched YouTube more. All my videos got more views, including my book and writing content. 2, MLMs began to target even more people during COVID. Work from home, don't catch COVID. Did you lose your job? Try this one. So it made sense to call that out. 3, the anti-MLM movement really began to gain traction online in 2015 to 2016. So it makes sense that over time it's going to grow. Next point, which is incredibly important, every online community has drama. Yes, anti-MLM has drama. I'm also in the booktube community, and the drama there is constant and, in my opinion, much worse. When any online community grows, drama increases. It's part of having more people in a group with conflicting viewpoints. So again, to claim that the drama is linked to anti-MLM as a concept specifically is, once again, the correlation and causation fallacy. The reason I don't talk about MLMs where people can make good money is there really aren't any. If you can provide me some links to some, I'm happy to take a look. Again, I believe in taking a balanced approach whenever possible, but just because I have a different viewpoint than you, that does not mean that my intentions are bad or that I'm intentionally leaving out information. I just don't see this issue the same way you do. You're free to work for an MLM company if you want. I'm not your boss. My personal goal with my anti-MLM videos is to help others leave MLMs or to help people not join them in the first place. I get tons of messages from people thanking me for helping them leave their MLM or providing them information to dodge a bullet. So that is my motivation. You're welcome to tell me you think my motivation is different, but it's awfully arrogant to assume that you can read my mind. I'll watch your Fitzpatrick video and issue any corrections I feel the need afterward. I agree the solution is more regulation. In fact, I've done entire videos and live streams on that exact topic, about how many concepts baked into a semi-capitalist economic system also require additional regulation, and MLMs themselves aren't the entirety of the problem. I've talked about this multiple times. You can criticize me in your video if you like. We've got free speech, and as a public figure, I am open to being publicly criticized. But it seems awfully strange to do that when the vast majority of my videos aren't anti-MLM related. But either way, you do you. Have a good afternoon. So here was her reply to me, which, remember, she said she didn't want to talk to me, yet she's still continuing to talk to me, and then after a while I stop replying, and then she continues to email me, so That's a strange way to not talk to someone, but okay. So she says, thank you. Feel free to check out the sources I sent you. I completely respect the arguments you're making. The way I see it, you collab with them and cross-promote, therefore advertising everyone's channel. If I promoted something and it was a bad product or company, I'd be somewhat responsible, right? I mean, that depends on a variety of factors. Also, because you lost all credibility when you referenced Robert Fitzpatrick and everyone in the movement references him. The first time I took issue to the anti-MLM was, did you ever read Ponzi-nomics? So I did my research. Whether or not you like Robert Fitzpatrick personally, the information in Ponzi-nomics is true. I have not found any of it to be false. If anyone has sources on how the information in Ponzi-nomics itself is false, please send me your sources, because the information in that book is very well sourced and I found it all to be true and to mathematically check out. Check out my review on it. I'll link it up in the cards. Idea what she's on about. However, we'll come back to Robert Fitzpatrick in a moment. The reason I'm taking time with this project because I wanted to send the right message. Don't trust the internet and fact check yourself. I wanted to have an impact without being the same, which has been hard to do against such an aggressive community. You may not see it, but that's because you choose not to. I think everyone in this community has a different approach. Some people's approach is more aggressive, some people's is less aggressive. I make videos the way I like to make them because I think it sends the message to my audience. I don't know what you want me to do with that. I don't think MLMs are a good business structure, and I'm going to continue making videos to warn people about that. Other than me agreeing with you, what can I say? Because if I prove to you that I'm not bullying or aggressive, you claim that by being anti-MLM and being against these companies, that anyone who does make an aggressive or bullying video, that I'm complicit in that because I have the same side on a business issue as them. That's insane. I don't understand at all. So she says, you can continue doing whatever content you please. I just want there to be a video in the middle where the narrative can't be changed. I don't know what she means by the narrative can't be changed. Like, if she says things that are false, I'm going to call it out. But I don't mind there being a video in the middle that provides additional information, and if I got something wrong, and that in her video, if it ever does come out, and if it shows something that I got wrong, I will apologize and issue a correction. And again, to change the direction of the movement and bring attention to people in the top who really don't present facts in a wholesome way. You may, but Cece doesn't, Isabella doesn't, Savannah doesn't. First of all, she's saying I may. She claims she did so much research on my channel. She doesn't know if I present information in a correct way or not. I'm not going to comment on the other creators because, again, I can't speak to other creators' intentions. So she said, also, I see your channel, what gets views and what doesn't. When your subscribers increase because you made videos about it, it's easy to see the timeline. So I just want to start there about your channel. It's the same for everyone else's. I don't make baseless claims. I look at everything before I send a message to anyone. Around the time I started making book reviews of self-help books, and making anti-MLM content, I started to gain more traction. And I want to say it was my Girl Stop Apologizing review where I'm baking the cupcakes that really kind of started my channel growth. And even that one, it has like 40,000 views now, but it didn't hit 1,000 views for like the first 2 or 3 weeks that it was even out because I was a very small channel at that point and I grew very slowly. So I'm not sure. I think that was the video. I did talk about MLMs in that video. I did. But it wasn't purely an anti-MLM video. It was primarily a book review. However, I did talk about MLMs in it. And I did talk about Rachel Hollis promoting MLMs in her book and how I didn't like that. So if that's valid, I guess. I think the divorce video about Rachel Hollis was the one that really started gaining my channel traction. Like, I went from like 2,000 to 5,000 subscribers in a couple weeks because of that particular video. And that's when people started really finding me because that was a very current topic. And I guess that has to do with MLMs in the sense that Rachel Hollis had spoken at MLM conferences and I didn't appreciate that about her and I thought she was manipulative in that way. But the video was about scams in the sense that she and Dave had scammed people into going to marriage conferences when their marriage was on the rocks and things like that. But that wasn't specifically an anti-MLM video. It was a video about a business guru and the fans' reaction to finding out something was a scam. So, and that's the video that really started my channel growth. You can look back at my channel and see more videos with views before then. It's because once that video gained traction, people found me, subscribed to me, and then went back and looked at the old videos that then started getting suggested to them. That's what happened with my channel. I'll see if I can find proof. I'm not very good at YouTube analytics, but like if anyone is and wants to help, drop me a comment below. And then she makes this point. So I didn't even respond to that email that she sent. This is her 3rd email she sends me in a row without me responding at all. Again, very funny way to not talk to someone by sending them 3 emails in a row after you stop responding. But this is what she said. I have a point to make about this and how it is once again fallacious. Let me make one more point. Your group publicly assaulted Kimberlea and that one girl because they used the movement, which Savannah explicitly said to me. I'm gonna guess that you're misinterpreting what she said to you, but okay. But that's a guess. You're welcome to prove me wrong. I saw Isabella make a very damning post about her along the lines of there's no space for creators like her. Again, I'm gonna need exact quotes, not along the lines of, but have you guys called out Always Marco? I mean, you guys are all about supporting women when it helps you. Let's talk about this. She's implying here that we are misogynistic and aren't really supporting women because we called out Kimberlea, but not Always Marco. First thing, she called MLMer that other girl. I have video footage of me explicitly saying in videos that I did not have a problem with MLMer, because I thought that she just decided to leave the community and she didn't scam people or take anyone down. She just left because she didn't want to be in it anymore. And I've defended her in multiple videos. So to claim that I publicly harassed her is just a fucking lie, and I have videos to prove this. Second of all, the reason people were mad at Kimberlea went well beyond the fact that she stopped making anti-MLM content. It was because she then joined Monate and admitted that she never believed in this in the first place and wanted to now use her following to sell Monate. She had turned into a scammer that she used to call out. Again, I need to still watch Marco's video about why he left, but I don't believe he's actually joined an MLM or is trying to now promote it to his audience and gain his own downline. So if he just wanted to stop making content because he wanted to make different content, again, that's fine. Most of my videos are book reviews. So I have no idea why you think I would have a problem with someone just leaving them. I don't have any problem with Marco making videos about other topics instead. That's fine. He can do that. And second of all, here's where I have a problem. She's claiming that we are potentially misogynistic because we called out Kimberlea, but not Always Marco. And from her specific line of thinking, that means that we called out a female creator, but didn't call out a male creator, which makes us misogynistic. So if your logic was true, by that logic, you, this person who sent me the email, you would be misogynistic, and here's why. You have repeatedly attacked me for supporting Robert Fitzpatrick. You have told me that me agreeing with Robert Fitzpatrick's book and platforming his ideas is why I'm a problem. So if your logic is that if you call out female creators but not male creators who do the same thing, that makes someone misogynistic, well, for all the time you spent calling out me, Savannah, CC, whoever else, because we support Robert Fitzpatrick, and that's specifically what you've called me out for the most of this, CoffeeZilla's right fucking there. He has a channel times the size of my channel. My channel is 5% the size of his. And he has interviewed Robert Fitzpatrick on his channel. He has brought Robert Fitzpatrick onto his channel. Now, I like CoffeeZilla. I don't want you to necessarily call him out. And I don't think he needs to be, because he seems like a good guy, and I think his videos are well researched. He's done a lot of great work bringing down crypto scams. But I'm sorry, why is it that me, CC, Savannah, Isabella, whoever else you're emailing to, why is it that it's only women creators you're calling out? Why is it only women? When the specific issue that you have a problem with was supporting Robert Fitzpatrick, you don't care when CoffeeZilla does it, but you care when I do it. You don't care when a much bigger creator than me does it. The biggest creators in this community are male. How am I the misogynistic one in this case? Leave all the male creators who do it alone, sure. But categorize the rest of us as mean girls. And I'm the misogynistic one, alright. So at this point, after all these emails, I just replied to her and said, I have many other points to make regarding all the inaccuracies in what you just said, but I'll just wait to see it all in your video. I wasn't going to spend more time conversing with her. And then, here's what she sent me. So I'd like to put a warning right now. If you are watching this video and your name is Savannah Marie, please skip ahead to the timestamp on the screen. I'll read this for everyone else, but I don't want Savannah to have to hear this because this is so disgusting. So she sends me a completely new email, not even in our email chain of emails she continued to send me after I stopped responding. She sent me a new email that says, also, does Savannah tell everyone she had miscarriages? That's weird. Lol, I felt like I had to reply to her. Feels like a guilt tactic. First of all, you do not get to criticize other people for not supporting women and then come in here and attack a woman for having a miscarriage. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, at this point, I'm not even going to talk about logical fallacies. If emotional fallacies were a thing, that's what you just did, because you showed such a lack of emotional awareness of what it's like to actually empathize with another human being. You say you don't believe in bullying. I point out when someone says something that is false, whether that person is male or female. You say that we are bullies, yet you are the one who just attacked a woman's body. That is what you're the one who did. So I'm a little I'm more than a little disgusted by that. That made me want to vomit when I read that. So guys, this was a thing that I saw happening other times too. Recently, Rachel Hollis, who I have been very critical of on my channel for her MLM associations, for her scamming people, she posted on Instagram that she had had a miscarriage. And I left her a comment telling her that I appreciate her talking about this because this is an issue that affects a lot of women. It affects a lot of people who are struggling with pregnancy and things like that. And that's just, it's devastating. I've never been pregnant before. I don't ever plan to be pregnant, but I can empathize with how someone who wants a child, losing that child is probably one of the most emotionally devastating things you can go through. So I left her a comment thanking her for bringing light to this, for talking about it, for normalizing people having that conversation and not giving into the shame of purity culture when it comes to that. And a lot of people liked it. And I was like, yes, I may have been critical of your business practices in the past, but I'm going to support you in this particular instance. Now, I have seen people claim in Rachel's case, well, what if that was just a manipulation tactic? What if she was just trying to say that to make people feel bad for her? And my answer to that is, I don't care, fuck off. Because when you criticize somebody for something that isn't related to the actual problem, all you're doing is making other people feel bad about that. I talked about this too. It's like when Trump was president, there's so much more than enough to criticize him for, but I would see people making fun of him for being fat or for being old or whatever. Okay, he's not going to hear you, but the fat people, the old people, all those people who have those physical qualities that he has are going to hear you and hear that you think that that's a negative thing and hear that you think that that's something that is indicative of character. And so all you're going to do is hurt others. You don't have to, the woman who sent me this email, you do not have to like Savannah Marie's content. But when you come after her miscarriage, all you're doing is sending the message that women who have had miscarriages could use that as a manipulation tactic, or maybe their intentions weren't honest when they were talking about that. No, I want to normalize a world where women talking about things that happen to their own bodies is considered normal, is considered just fine to do, because that is a normal thing and these things need to be talked about. And from my own experience in this, so I've never been pregnant, but I have had a lot of gynecological and reproductive health issues. And because it is considered not normalized to talk about these things, a lot of people have no idea what I'm fucking talking about, leading me to having to spend 5 years going to different doctors in 3 different states until I could find a surgeon who could handle the problems I was having, and I just had to physically suffer for years because women's health issues are not talked about. So no, you cannot claim to be pro-women and then talk about one of my friends like that. I will not stand for that. That is disgusting. That's the woman we're all dealing with right now. She's emailing a lot of creators and doing this, and it's like, if you have a video, just put it out. I don't mind being criticized. I'll listen to it and see if it seems valid. Just like do whatever you want. Anyway, I'll see you guys again soon. Keep on supporting small business. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Get you some nuts.
There was lots of memes.
Makes me wonder if I should take up lesbianism.
Chicago. You guys asked for it.